Once upon a time, in a bustling city filled with ambition and towering skyscrapers, there was a man named Mark. He wasn't your typical CEO. His rise to success had been nothing short of extraordinary. Mark was known for his sharp business mind, his innovative ideas, and his unshakable confidence. But behind the polished exterior and the boardrooms, there was something about Mark that didn't quite fit the typical image of a corporate mogul. He had always felt that there was more to his life than just numbers and deals. Something missing, a nagging curiosity that he could never quite place. Mark's childhood was a mystery to him. He had been raised in foster homes, never knowing his real parents. He had heard rumors about his past, whispers about his true lineage, tales of royalty, and legends passed down through generations. But none of it made sense. It seemed like the stories of his origins were as fragmented and unclear as the city's skyline on a foggy morning. One evening, after a particularly grueling meeting, Mark came across an old, dusty letter hidden deep in a drawer of his office desk. It was handwritten, the ink faded but legible. The letter was signed simply, "C. His." Heart skipped a beat as he read the words. "My dear son, I've kept this secret for many years. You were taken from me when you were just a child, but I have never stopped thinking of you. The world may not know our story, but I remember everything, the life we could have had. I hope one day you'll find me. Until then, remember that you are never alone. With all my love." C. Mark's hands trembled as he reread the letter. The words were like a key, unlocking something deep within him. Could it be true? Was this letter really from someone in his past? And if so, who was C? His mind raced with possibilities. Days passed, but Mark couldn't shake the feeling that the letter was the key to understanding his past. He hired a private investigator to trace its origins, digging deeper into his family's history, hoping to find some link between the letter and his unknown heritage. What he discovered was nothing short of shocking. The letter's handwriting matched that of a legendary figure from a tale as old as time, Cinderella. The investigator revealed a long-lost story, one that had been buried beneath centuries of myth. According to ancient records, Cinderella had once been a noblewoman, a princess even, but her life had taken a tragic turn when her child, Mark, was taken from her. The story had been hidden from the world, likely to protect the boy from enemies who wished to destroy any claim to the throne. Cinderella, heartbroken and alone, had fled into obscurity, leaving behind the child she had loved so dearly. Mark's head spun. Could this be real? Was he, a simple CEO, the long-lost son of Cinderella? The idea was almost too fantastical to believe, yet there was too much evidence to ignore. He delved deeper into the story, learning about the legendary glass slipper that had once been said to fit only one true heir. The slipper was a symbol, not just of love, but of heritage. One evening, as Mark wandered the streets of the city, he found himself standing in front of a grand ballroom. It was a charity gala, an event that attracted the city's elite. The glimmering lights, the sound of laughter, and the extravagant gowns reminded him of the very fairy tale he had just uncovered. It was as if fate had brought him to this moment. For some reason, he felt an overwhelming pull to enter. He stepped inside, his presence immediately commanding attention. The crowd parted, and as Mark looked around, his eyes fell upon a woman standing near the balcony. She was elegant, poised, and beautiful in a way that seemed almost otherworldly. It was as if time had slowed when their gazes met. She seemed familiar, like someone he had known in another life. Her name was Ella, and as they spoke, Mark felt a strange connection, a sense of recognition that transcended words. She told him her family's history, her ancestors' ties to royalty, and the fairy tale of Cinderella's lost child. Mark's heart raced as he realized that the story she spoke of mirrored his own. It was as if the pieces of the puzzle were finally falling into place. As the night wore on, Mark could no longer deny the truth. Ella was not just a woman from a story. She was his link to his mother, to the fairy tale that had been hidden away for so long. Cinderella's legacy had lived on in him, in his rise to success, in the choices he had made, and in the way he had overcome obstacles with determination and grace. In that moment, Mark realized something profound. His success wasn't just about business. It was about resilience, about reclaiming what had been lost, and about embracing his true identity. He wasn't just a CEO, he was the son of Cinderella, a symbol of hope, transformation, and the power of never giving up. As Mark and Ella stood together, looking out over the city, they both knew that the story was far from over. It was just the beginning of a new chapter, one where the fairy tale would no longer be confined to myths, but would live on in the real world, in a legacy of love, perseverance, and the unbreakable bond between mother and son. And so, Mark's journey continued, with the knowledge that no matter where life took him, he would always have the strength of a fairy tale running through his veins. The end, or perhaps the beginning.